When you do the astro math, they're actually exactly the same age. What a beautiful thing. We love to see it. Now, who doesn't love a Joe bro? I know that I do. And today I woke up and I found myself thinking, what is up with that beautiful, beloved couple, Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra? So I had to give it a little peeky-weeky, a little look-see. You know what I mean. Nick Joe and Goddess Pri, it just piques my interest. The how, the what, the why, the when of this couple. Are they compatible? I need answers. So naturally, I did what any old celebrity astrologer would do, and I looked to the stars for the dish. And boy, did they deliver. It is delicious. Stay with me, folks. You're going to want to see what comes next. Nick Jonas was born on September 16, 1992 at 3:39 a.m. in Dallas, Texas, which makes him a Virgo sun, Taurus moon, and Leo rising. One of the most notable things in Nick Jonas's chart is his Sun, Mercury, Jupiter conjunction, a 3-planet stellium in Virgo. Because it's in Virgo, which is one of the 2 signs Mercury rules, the other, of course, Gemini, Mercury is running the show. The Sun is about external identity, Mercury is about expression, and Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So this really shows us how incredibly powerful and important dialogue is for Nick Jonas. This Virgo stellium is also located in his 2nd house of values, which makes sense why he's been able to generate financial security through his incredible communication. Sing to me, Jonas. You get it? Instead of Palo, the Lizzie McGuire movie, duh.
Sing to me, Palo.
Nick met a fellow communicator, perhaps even an over-communicator, who really stole his heart. Enter Priyanka Chopra. Priyanka Chopra was born July 18, 1982 at 1:30 a.m. in India, making her a Cancer sun, Gemini moon, and Gemini rising. Looking at Priyanka's chart, the first thing that jumps out at me is the close proximity of her north node of destiny and her sun. This could often indicate being born during an eclipse, so I obviously had to check, and yup, the rumors in my head are true. Priyanka Chopra was born just 2 days before a solar eclipse, making her an eclipse baby. You have heard me say it before, but I cannot emphasize it enough. Eclipse babies have a certain magnetism to them. Everything in their lives is larger than life and kind of dramatic because, that's how eclipses are. So this means that they too are sending out that same electrical signal that reflects that intensity. Now, I haven't met Priyanka yet, so I can't say for certain, but she does strike me as someone who has a very powerful energy. And not just because she's very, very beautiful. From an astrological POV, we can actually attribute her absolute breathtaking gorgeousness to Venus in her 1st house of self. The magnetism, however, that I'm referring to has more to do with her vibe than her appearance. She feels like someone who really makes things happen, even if it's against all odds. Cut to compatibility. So, first things first, Nick and Priyanka are 10 years apart. This is not an uncommon age difference. We actually see this all the time in couples, but it is more often the man who is older. Not in this case. Now, let me tell you why I think this works, and both of them actually end up meeting in the middle. Nick's very serious Virgo stellium in the 2nd house means he takes his responsibilities extremely seriously, so that gives him plus 5 years. Priyanka, on the other hand, has a Gemini rising and moon, which is a sign that is so deeply associated with youthful playfulness. So that's minus 5 years for Priyanka. When you do the astro math, they're actually exactly the same age. What a beautiful thing. We love to see it. Peers. Speaking of Priyanka's Gemini rising and moon, this shows us that Priyanka is also just as focused on communication and dialogue and sharing and self-expression as Nick is. So I would probably say that one of the core pillars of their relationship is the way they explore the world together. These two are probably like talking all the time. Talking in the morning, talking in the evening, talking at supper time. When Mercury's ruling a chart, you can have talking anytime. You know that song, right? Of course you do! Genius! J'adore. Excellent taste. Now, although we do not know the exact time Nick and Priyanka said, I do, We do know the date and location of their marriage. Nick and Priyanka said their vows on December 1st, 2018 at Umaid Bhawan Palace in Jodhpur, Rajasthan. And we can work with this. Immediately when I pull this chart up, I am quite certain that they worked with an astrologer to calculate this date. Drama, right? That's a big deal. They got married with the Sun and Jupiter conjunct, which means it was at the same point in the sign of Sagittarius. The Sun is your external realities, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion, which is actually the ruler of Sagittarius. And these two planets connected in this sign is one thing and one thing only. It's luck. This is a signature for abundance and prosperity, and it only happens once every 12 years. So that feels like it has to be intentional. Or maybe they're just lucky. Cute either way. Another important thing to note is that the moon changed signs from Virgo to Libra the day they were married. But this placement is adorable either way. If the moon was in Virgo, it perfectly matches Nick's Virgo stellium. If it was in Libra in the sign of partnership, it obviously captures the spirit of nuptials. But either way, Venus, the planet of love and beauty, was in the sign of Libra, in its home base at 29 degrees, the anaretic degree, the last degree of a sign. The anaretic degree is considered a critical degree in astrology, which means it vibrates with special importance. But that's not the only planet at the anaretic degree. On the day of their marriage, Uranus, the planet of innovation, was also at 29 degrees Aries, meaning it was making a direct opposition to Venus, signaling a new, innovative type of love. Mercury was also at 29 degrees Scorpio, exposing the depths of communication. Those vows must have been extraordinary. And Vesta, the asteroid associated with profound spirituality, was at 29 degrees Capricorn. In fact, there was actually a powerful grand cross in the night sky the night they were married, aligning Uranus, Venus, and the north and south nodes of destiny in Cancer and Capricorn, and Vesta in Capricorn. This grand cross in the cardinal signs at the anaretic degree is really notable. It suggests a dynamic portal that's built on love and innovation and creating a sacred space to support a special type of fated bond. Cute? Yes, but more important, it's magical. And honestly, that is what this team is all about. Hell yes. So what does the future hold for these two? Well, I am not surprised that they recently welcomed a baby into their life, considering Nick just finished his Saturn return, which means that in the eyes of the cosmos, he is a full-fledged adult. Plus, Nick has his Jupiter in Virgo, which means that he just went through his Jupiter opposition with transiting Jupiter in Pisces. And as we saw with some of our favorite celebrities who have gotten pregnant this year, the energy around that Virgo-Pisces axis is very much about parenthood. Now, as for Priyanka, I have a feeling that 2023 will prove to be a major, major year for her. Jupiter in Aries will be making oppositions to her Saturn, to her Mars, to her Pluto, all of which are in Libra in her 5th house of children and creativity. So that will really help her feel very ready and prepared to tap into her journey as both an artist and a mother. I'm not saying that she's not feeling the good vibes now. I'm sure she is, but it's going to get even better and better for her as we move into 2023. So that's great. Oh, wow. Would you look at the time? It is time for me to A your cues. So let us see what cues need to be A'd around here. Cue number 1, I'm a Gemini who's single. What sign should I date? Gemini. What sign shouldn't you date? Your whole thing is that you love to talk to anyone about anything. I would say my recommendation for you single Gemini is to set yourself up with a zodiac speed date night where you go on 12 different dates with every single sign, and then you see which one you want to go on a second date with. Solid advice. Hey Aliza, why do I keep dating the same zodiac sign? I'm curious as to where that zodiac sign illuminates your birth chart. Take a look to see if you have any planets or placements in that zodiac sign, or just where it falls in your 360-degree circular round chart. because that area is obviously asking for your attention right now. So to take a look at any planets or placements or just simply where that is in your life and to understand why people who have that sign keep coming in is going to clear up a lot, and it's also going to take the pressure off of those relationships and allow you to tap into that energy independently from partnership. Oh, hi. Welcome to the hot gloss. Hot gloss alert, hot gloss alert. The anaretic degree, the 29th degree, is the last degree that any planet can be in that zodiac sign. Every zodiac sign has exactly 30 degrees. It goes from 0 to 29 degrees. So when a planet moves into the 29th degree, the anaretic degree, it is basically preparing to exit and go into a new chapter. So when you are at that final frontier, when you're at that exit point, the questions that you want to ask are basically, what have you learned? And what are you still doing here? Because it hasn't progressed into that new zodiac sign yet. So the anaretic degree has a lot of very existential, very powerful, very magical properties associated with it, because we're trying to find out what that planet at that specific, very electric degree is offering, and what it is offering in a unique way that it has not been able to access until it reached that final point of knowledge and wisdom and insight. Jups Ops, also known as the Jupiter opposition. No one has ever called it Jups Ops before, but here we are. So Jupiter opposition occurs every 12 years, but it starts when you are 6 years old, because Jupiter's orbit is a 12-year cycle. So when Jupiter in the sky reaches the halfway point, that is your Jupiter opposition. So this occurs when you are 6 years old. It occurs when you are 18 years old. It occurs when you are 30 years old. It occurs when you are 42 years old. Keep adding 12 to these increments. And what happens during the Jupiter opposition is your own ability to expand, to find new prosperity, to find new exciting opportunities is basically met with the circumstances in your life that are challenging that. And when I say challenging, I don't mean that in a negative way. It's actually quite positive, because it's making you advocate for yourself and really claim the things that you want and define how you want to be expanding, how you want to be moving into your future and moving into new potential. Conjunction, junction, what is your function? Well, that is from what? What is that from? That's Schoolhouse Rock. That's Schoolhouse Rock, obviously.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function?
But a conjunction in astrology is planets meeting at the same point. So when you have planets meeting at the same point, you have a collection of energy that is pooling in the same zodiac sign. And then you want to know, well, who is the boss of this conjunction? Who is the ruler? Who is leading the charge? And in the case of Nick Jonas, it's Mercury. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you feel satisfied, because I absolutely do. Now we know Nick and Priyanka are just straight up compatible, and we have this episode to prove it. I'm sorry, you don't believe me? Go watch this whole episode again. Personally, I love a couple with a promising future, so join us next week for another inspiring episode of Celebrity Astrology Investigation. And comment below. Please tell us who you would like us to investigate next. And don't forget to keep your beautiful eyes on the impossible and vast stars. Bye! When pizza's on a bagel. Oh, what was that? You don't believe me? Go watch this episode all over again. Let's take it from the top.